Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Dungeons and Dragons, which we haven't really done another episode than this one. It's the first one, so haha, joke's on you. We would love to catch you guys up if anybody's watching. So we're about to jump into game. Just to let you guys know that we're going through Horde of the Dragon Queen, which is the 5th edition campaign module, arguably one of the worst. It is a ton of railroading. However, there have been some slight alterations made to said module by yours truly, because otherwise it would be a ton of railroading, and that's terrible. All of that being said, spoiler alert for those of you who plan on playing Horde of the Dragon Queen at some point in the future, or are currently playing Horde of the Dragon Queen and have just started off and are wondering why a few arrows have scared off an enormous dragon. So essentially what has gone on is the party traveling northward from Daggerford towards Waterdeep, traveling with a group of about 15 to 20 people, overheard 2 nights ago an argument taking place between a man and his wife. And essentially it's the stereotypical nagging wife situation. So not the best situation for the guy. Well, the party decided to intervene a little bit, and due to their involvement, it led to a letter being sent to one of the gentlemen, with the implication that said wife wanted to bed one of our characters, one of our party. So they proceeded the next night to the location that she was in, with an elaborate scheme to present the idea she was being attacked by the dragon cult. And things have gone awry. Just a touch.
So, I would say awry is more entertaining.
All right. So, all of that being said, where we left off was after an initiative order that I did write down on one of these cards here. Here we go. Oh, right. So, our cleric decided to cast a little hold person with the attempt at deceiving the NPC, and rolled the incredible 1. So we are picking up at the top of the round. I believe Ricard is our first.
Okay, so
top of the round, Ricard. So
can you explain? Do you want to go or you want me to go?
Okay. So you're in a northeastern position to her, about 35 feet, 40 feet north of most of the party, and Skadric is about 20 to 30 feet southwest of her on the opposite side. Atlas is right up against her with his horse on the ground, and she has been held. She failed a save and hold person. So,
yeah.
Yes, that is right.
Starting to try and run off with her. Yes.
Right.
Sure.
Did he make it onto his horse or to his horse?
I couldn't get her on the horse because she's in a stiff position, so there's no way to put her on there properly.
He's holding her awkwardly due to her being held in the position she was held in, causing large inconvenience for his attempt.
Alrighty. I think I'm still on my horse, if I remember correctly. 35 feet away.
That's correct.
What the heck? Where'd that come from?
Okay.
I have no idea what I just did.
What were you trying to do?
I don't know. Apparently, Giant Ricard is now going to fix everybody's problem. Giant old Ricard. Yep, that's it. So, all right. This has gone horribly, horribly fucked up. So, okay. At this point, I'm going to use, what would that be, about half of my movement speed to get to Roland and her?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Can I, as a free action and using half of that movement, I mean, can I, in part of using that movement speed, can I pull off the robes?
Oh, yeah, I would allow that. All
right. And I'm going to get to that, use half my movement speed to get up to him and yell, Roland, just put her down. This is not going to work. And I'm going to attempt, as my action, a persuade with her.
All right.
She can't respond.
So attempt a persuasion.
Okay. Yeah, go for it. So go ahead and make a roll, and then let me know what you say.
Okay. Her name was. I don't fuck up the name when I go to talk to her.
Mareem.
Hello.
Hi.
That was a 19. Oh. So as I get there, I'm going to use the other part of my movement to dismount, and can I try in part of my action and using my persuasion, like try and take her from Roland and kind of put her back in a more dignified position? Is that okay? As I'm doing this persuasion.
Sure. Okay, so Roland, you've got to decide whether or not you want to try and keep him from grabbing her or just release her willingly.
I mean, I'll just put her on the ground. Quick question: Are we in initiative still or no?
Yes, technically
we are. Okay, so I mean, yeah.
But technically, I'm interacting with you, so you can resist or not resist.
Right.
Sure. I'll just let you do what you're doing because I had no idea what's going on.
I go, and I say, just Roland. As I said, Roland, this has gone horribly wrong. Maureen, we came out here to try and help your husband, and this has turned from a attempt for him to try and win back your affections into you apparently deciding to engage a apparent member of the Cult of the Dragon on your own. Please do not fight this anymore. Let's try and talk this out. Your husband loves you. And that's my persuasion.
Okay. Very good. All right. Well, obviously it is, let's see. She is held currently, so she cannot respond. Yeah, and I definitely... Okay, go ahead, Atlas. It's your turn.
Doesn't she get a save on that every round on her turn, or am I wrong there?
I don't think withhold person.
Oh, is it not withhold person?
You want me to click it?
No, I can see it. I've got it. Okay. I've got it here. And it's at the end of each of their turns.
So, it is? Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So this is just round 2. We're currently in round 2, and it's Atlas. Atlas, just go. I got the initiative order flip-flopped a little bit there. So, but that's all right.
So I still look like Chris Hemsworth, right?
Yes, you have cast your spell on alter self, and are currently retaining the appearance of one particular actor.
Said Chris.
And I heard correctly that Ricard kind of blew our cover a little bit.
Yeah, he's basically revealed himself.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're standing right there. He has ridden his horse up, dismounted, and revealed himself, repositioned Maureen on the ground, so that she is no longer being held aloft by Roland.
Okay. So I'm gonna cast Heroism on her. So that way, in case she's scared and feeling quite uncomfortable, maybe this will make her feel a little bit better. And if I can revert back to my normal form, I'll do that.
Okay. I believe Alter Self is a concentration spell. So as soon as you cast Heroism, your Alter Self goes away.
Perfect.
All right. All right, so Atlas, now it is going to be her go. But she can't do anything, so at the end of her turn, she's going to make a roll here to see if she saves out of... She does not. So she is still held. All right. So next is going to be Skodrick.
I release hold person.
Okay.
And I apologize as soon as I do that. I'm sorry, my lady. I did not mean to cause any fear or distress. We're just trying to ease you because you seemed a little erratic.
So as soon as you release her, a sigh of exasperation comes out of her mouth, and we are now out of initiative. And she is looking at all of you with a very confused look. And she says, if you're trying to ease the circumstances, this is certainly an interesting way of doing so. She says, presenting an attack on somebody or creating the illusion of attacking someone is not the best way to reduce stress or anxiety in especially present circumstances, given things that have happened recently in our travel.
But if you think in the simple mind of a man, saving you from deathly peril in a rather heroic way is a very reasonable way for a man to make a woman smitten with him. So, please look at it that way.
And she looks and she's like, yes, I suppose it would. And she turns to her husband and she kind of looks at the ground and she's like, well, I've not been entirely honest. She says, maybe I should tell all of you exactly what's going on. It's a little bit of a story, so
confused look.
Maybe we should go back to camp and settle down for a moment, and then I'll tell you exactly what it is. And her husband has this defeated look on his face of, oh boy, this is where she tells us about all of her lovers and all the times that she's run off and everything that she's done, blah, blah, blah. He's just got a very manic depressive look on his face. But then she mounts her horse and waits for everybody else to mount their horse, and then motions for everybody to follow her, and she begins to make her way back towards camp.
Okay, Atlas, I guess you're walking back. You got your horse back.
I got my horse, yeah.
Yeah,
she
okay.
just knocked the crap out of it, yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I don't think any of us lost our horses, right?
That's right.
Yeah, a lot of you actually lost your horses.
Oh.
No, I don't think anybody lost their horse.
I think
everybody was thrown off. Nobody lost their horse.
Oh, sweet.
Okay.
My horse was just very brave for a minute or so.
Yeah.
And so I mount up and look over at the husband and go, "Don't look so defeated. The night's not over yet."
Yeah, it can only get better.
He kind of looks down and he's like, I kind of wish it was.
I look over at Roland and I go, "I could have launched a fireball." And just start riding.
I just groan and I'm like, I'm gonna take a troll him. just go and just like, yeah, life was so much simpler when I was alone.
Yeah.
Just stealing shit.
So it's a fairly peaceful ride back to the encampment. Nothing really takes place of any significance until you guys get back, and she ties her horse up. Her countenance has changed drastically from a perturbed, nagging wife to someone of shame and someone who's been upholding a large portion of deceit for a significant amount of time, who, as you guys look at her, it seems like she's ready to come to terms with the whole situation. She beckons all of you to come and sit around some of the various forms of seating that she's put up around the fire that she is now stoking to reignite the flames, essentially, so that she gets the burning embers to reignite. And it's a small fire.
I kind of assist with prestidigitation.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so she then puts a pot, what you guys would recognize as a pot that someone would use to make tea, into the fire, and just allows it to sit. And she sits and she is looking. You guys can tell that the wheels of her mind are turning quite significantly, and with this very defeated look on her face, she finally says, I've not been entirely honest. And her husband stands up immediately and he says, look, I don't care what it is. I love you anyways. And she says, and I love you, but I need you to know this. So please sit back down. And he calms himself for a moment and he sits back down. And she stands there and she begins to go into the details of a tale that sounds a little far-fetched at first. She then reveals details that she was a member of the cult herself, and was taking part in some of the things that the cult was having people do. So, and she mentions that one of the things that she would do is go into a town or village to kind of get an assessment of its wealth, and then take that information back to the cult. And she expresses to her husband that her running off was not to have an affair, but to carry out these various missions. After the second or third town or village was hit, she then began to realize that the cult wasn't just going in to make political deals and things, that they were actually going in and ravaging towns and looting. She began to feel very guilty and decided to run from them. So essentially, she is a cultist gone AWOL. And she mentions that's the reason for her reaction to seeing Ricard in the purple robes approaching her the way that he did. She also explains that her letter to Ricard was not with the intent to sleep with him, but instead to request aid from the party. And because she had heard a significant amount about this particular party, and then when it was revealed that the name of the party was Dawncasters, and the association with the name, as well as some of the expressions of things that have happened in regards to the party warding away the dragon attack, as well as thwarting the plans of the dragon cult in taking over or looting any further in and among the convoy of merchants. And she mentions all of these various experiences, and so was seeking aid from the party, but did not want to bring that information out openly, given that she didn't want to cause fear among the remainder of the travelers with you guys.
I would like to release an audible sigh.
Can I look over at Skodrick just to see what his expression is right now?
Sure.
Is he angry?
I'm looking dead at Keatron. Because if I'm not mistaken, he saw it, or he saw like a hint of evil in it.
Yeah.
Or,
yeah. I'm like,
and so Skodrick just like stares at Keatron. Like, what is this about? But other than that, I just turn away and go back to my cart and set everything back up, or get my horse back on the cart and everything.
Okay.
So you do it angrily?
I mean, obviously.
Okay, making sure.
There's a tone there.
Okay. Anybody else have specific reactions they would like to take to this set of circumstances?
Oh, I thought Ricard was going to lose his virginity. Dang it.
Yeah, Atlas.
At least I can lose my virginity, Atlas.
Wow. Okay. Hey. Let's calm down. I don't think he meant that as an insult, Ricard. I think he was just saying he thought you were a decent person who hadn't had sex.
About you, man. Like, why do you have to, it's just...
Come on.
See, but therefore, the problem there is your assumption that I haven't lost my virginity. My sex life is not the topic at this particular moment.
Maybe he was rooting for you. You know, he wanted you to. He thought perhaps Ricard was a good, honest. I don't know what kind of religion you would be.
No.
But...
as soon as Roland says that, Maureen pipes back up and she's like, "Yes, I got that feeling also that he was good and honest, and that is why I decided to reach out for a call for aid."
Have not heard the stories Roland would tell about me, but that's okay.
I mean, I wouldn't say he's dishonest. I would just say he's volatile at times.
That's funny.
Perhaps when it's not the most convenient, such as our last little encounter in the woods just now.
Hey.
Impulsive.
Did everything work out every time?
I'm not.
You know what? I'm not gonna comment because
did it? Yes.
We don't have a golem, and we don't have Leodenbeck.
Oh, we have a golem. We're lending everybody. Yes.
Okay. All right. Agree to disagree.
You have a trollum. I can't control.
I do. I actually don't, because she's in Waterdeep under hostile.
There's quite a bit of backstory.
Yes, Skodrick's not here.
No, I'm just saying in general. This is to the audience. There's quite a bit of backstory.
Anyway,
complicated situation here.
For those of you who watch and/or are watching, we're putting together a compilation of backstory audible videos. When I mentioned that, I mean that it is likely that they will not be animated, given that we have no income and don't have an animator, and so however they will be audible. Not as in the website, but as in you can hear them. And it'll contain the backstory of each character from that character's perspective, as well as an overarching backstory for the entire party. Just so you guys know, throwing that out there. All right, continue. Carry on.
So what kind of help did you need?
She says, I want to be hidden. She says, I imagine that perhaps I'm not of enough importance for them to come looking for me, but if I were ever found, that would likely spell the end. I've seen some of the things that they do, and
can I insight check her to see? I guess on her general demeanor, see if she's telling the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, like do I believe her story so far?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, you can roll insight. Everybody roll insight. Also, guys, if you don't mind, give me just a moment. I don't know if you guys want to pause right now and grab snacks, drinks, things like that. Just jumping back into the game. So Maureen has explained all of these details. Her being a part of the dragon cult previously, deciding that it was morally a terrible idea and going AWOL, essentially. And has now requested that aid from the Dawncasters in helping her to hide. As she's standing there, she continues to have this look of disgrace on her face after having hidden this from her husband for so long. And of course, as you guys look over, her husband is in complete astonishment right now. He just has this, he's gone pale. His face is just utter surprise and shock. And he also has a look of betrayal, like, how could you do this to me kind of look on his face. And he approaches her and says why. And she said that she thought that it would yield extra income for the household so that they could live a life a little more the way that they would want, and not have to travel with the Merchants Guild so much. And of course, they go into their little couples montage, going back and forth, talking about how they love each other, and he forgives her, she forgives him, but now he's afraid about the circumstances, and she said she was also, and that's why she hid it from him. And so
talking about they're afraid of what's going to happen. Can I I want to look at everybody and kind of get the gauge of, Skadrik's walked off, but I assume Kidron, Atlas, and Roland are all still here. Do any of y'all have I want to see if any of them have a angry or disapproving look on their face, just kind of get the feel of the crowd, my compatriots here.
No judgments here. Just, she's seen the error of her ways and would like to, I assume, make amends in some way. What was that, Skadrik? You got something in the comments?
You guys have noted that Skadrik has stormed off back to the cart.
I thought I heard him say something.
Atlas, are you making any sort of face?
Well, I would be making a face, but the only thing that's on my face is really just like a little mouthpiece thing,
Is it got a smile
you
or
have
a
eyebrow.
frown?
Don't forget your character.
Oh yeah, I do have. I guess my eyebrows are kind of just like.
Are you wearing the mask?
Yeah, actually, yeah. So you wouldn't even be able to see that anyway. But, I will express that I don't really trust this lady. She toppled my horse over really harshly after she drank that potion. But all is forgiven, and maybe we can help you out somehow.
I got a quick thing. So in the chat, so that this Avery guy is kind of cute. Do you have a girlfriend? This is in the chat. Just so you know.
I've got like 6 girlfriends.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Total player.
Like the more the merrier. So.
Okay.
Polyamory for the win. There you go.
This is gonna be interesting.
Oh wait, do they all not know about each other and it's like under the table?
Well, maybe we should get back to the game.
Yeah. Just thought you wanted to know about that. I don't know.
No.
Anyway, so
She said whore. Sorry.
Oh no.
Hey, since I'm not part of the conversation, I'll check. I'll check in on it.
Yeah. So about the game, yeah.
Yeah. So I was gonna ask Marine. I was gonna ask her. So about the whole horse thing. You just kind of drunk something and suddenly gained super strength.
Roll and make a perception check real quick while you're talking to her.
Perception check. This would be a great time to roll a 1. Whew. 9 is a little better.
I gotta keep track of that. Sorry, everyone.
Oh, they can't see the rolls?
I go back and forth.
Yeah, I got you.
So as you're looking at her, whatever, the red light of the fire flickering, this kind of pulsing red light flickering across her skin. As you note, the glimmer reveals that her skin isn't exactly quite as smooth as it was before. And when you mention that, she actually, she's like, oh yes, my apologies. I hope that your horse is okay. And she pulls from beneath her robe a second silvery shimmering potion. She says, I took these before I left from the cult's stores. It is a potion of stone giant strength. She said, I consumed one before so as to be able to defend myself. I took them with the expectation that the cult would catch up with me one day and try to take me back. It really is the only thing that I have to defend myself. She says, I can fight a little bit, but I'm not very good at it.
I'm gonna just ask Ricard to just step over to the side real fast and just kind of whisper, you think we should confiscate that off of her? Like,
at this point, no.
Are you making a? You're trying to do this without out of range of her?
Yeah. I mean, I can roll stealth if you want.
Depending on how far you guys walk away from her.
Just a few steps.
Yeah. So make a stealth check real quick.
15.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, she doesn't seem to take note of what you guys are saying.
Yeah, and I wasn't going to try. I wasn't going to be overly loud, but I wasn't going to try and hide my response. But just no, I don't think we need to right now. If that's the only thing she has to defend herself, then that's.
Well, I mean, if we're helping her, I'm thinking we might be able to use that a little better than she would. But it depends on what kind of route we go.
Yeah, to me, it's like taking my sword. You take my sword.
You know how to use your sword.
Yeah.
She doesn't really know how to use it. That's what I'm saying. So I mean, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what that does, but if it gives you super strength,
it
you know,
you can make an intelligence check real quick, Roland. Given that you've been reading out of the alchemy book for a while.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say, can I do an Arcana check just to?
Yeah, you can.
You said intelligence?
Yes.
A belt of giant strength is something my character would love to have, and
13
wouldn't be out of the realm of knowing about.
Are you leaving that on your Christmas list?
I need to click that twice.
So with the 13, you feel like you've come across a section before that has mentioned potions of giant strength, but then it had a list of categorizations underneath that. You don't quite recall what the categorizations were or what the exact enhancement was. Ricard, on the other hand, with a 24, as you're thinking about it or whatever, you have an understanding that, especially depending on what type of giant the potion is derived from, or what type of giant nail is typically added to the potion, would determine the specifics of how the potion improves a person's strength. So, for instance, if if a person were to add the fingernail of a stone giant, it would give them the strength of a stone giant, et cetera, et cetera. Each respectively based on what giant the fingernail comes from.
Yeah, so just imagine that it gives them the strength of whatever giant the potion is named after. Roland.
Ooh,
It is strong, but it
we
is
have a
not
vague
permanent.
idea as to how strong that is, or no?
Really strong.
Okay.
It doesn't make them unbeatable. It
Oh
doesn't.
yeah, of course not.
But it does give them, augments their abilities in a way that would directly affect their combat strength. But if that's all she's got, I'm not one to take a person's only weapon from them.
I mean, I'll give her a
have reason
dagger.
to. Let's get her.
That seems more appropriate to me.
Let's
She'll have a
decide if
dagger.
let's decide if we're going to help her. She has not openly attacked us in a threatening manner. Only did so to defend herself.
I mean, if you find someone trying to come onto you as an attack, then maybe. But I don't know if you would. Do you feel threatened?
Would I define? No.
Okay, good.
I think of more of the slinging the horse as being an attack, but I look at that as her defending herself. So
Sure.
let's see. Decide if we're going to help her and get her somewhere safe, and then we'll go from there. Maybe the potion will be payment for saving her. How about that?
Sure. I'll just buy it off of her, maybe.
We can do that as well. So
anyway,
go back over to her and re-engage.
Before we head over, I just want to ask Ricard, which way are you leaning right now? Helping her now?
As long as helping her doesn't point us away from what we've got to do.
Sure.
I don't mind helping her. I understand you can make decisions and put yourself in a less than desirable place.
Especially for money.
As long as you're sure. Well,
that's
I
just
can
me.
understand doing it more for someone you care about, but okay, different things motivate different people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm leaning towards helping her as long as it doesn't remove us from our current task.
Yeah, I think Scourger's going to be a hard sell.
Yeah, if it was something, it's something she came out and told us openly, and obviously was trying to engage with us. If she was trying to hide it and stay hidden, then that makes me feel a little bit different. Whatever's in your past can be in your past, but you don't have to broadcast it. But when it needs to be known, it needs to be known.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I'm cool heading back over.
Yeah. So
trying to
walk back over and.
So you guys begin to make your way back over. Skodrick, while you're over at the cart, you've made your way back to the cart, and Kidron's noticed to this, and he's decided to come over and rejoin you, and kind of asks you what your take is on the situation. And then he expresses to you Maureen's desire for seeking out some sort of aid from the Dawncasters, and what your thoughts are on that.
I talked to Kedron. Do you think she can be trusted?
And he responds with something along the lines of, perhaps not in the past, but everyone has an opportunity for redemption.
What about him, looking at the Red Wizard? You think he has an opportunity for redemption?
And Kidron says he hasn't yet decided on the Red Wizard.
I just nod. Scudger just nods. He just says, "All right, I'll see what I can do. I'm here if y'all need me, but I don't want too much to do with her myself.
And Kidron says, "All right," and he makes his way back towards the group. So Roland and Picard, you guys get back to the group, and are you going to mention to the rest of everybody there kind of what you discussed?
Yeah, sure. I'll or I guess one or both of us will kind of say that we're willing to help, depending on what exactly she needs us to do. I think she just said she needed us to hide her for now. Or am I mistaken about that?
Where are you wanting to hide it? Right now, I don't know that Waterdeep is a large city, and you can disappear in it, but it's also where we believe the Cult of the Dragon is headed, which ultimately north of there. But if you can give us information about them, that may act as fuel with other people other than just us to keep you safe. I know, for example, if you're willing to help with the fight against the Cult of the Dragon through information, I'm pretty sure we could get you in the door with the Harpers, and they would keep you safe.
Skadric perks up. Still not looking at her, but perks up.
So, is she trying to go in hiding, like, with her husband, or?
Are you asking her that?
Yeah, I'll just ask directly. Like, are you trying to go in hiding, like, with your husband, or is this like a one and done solo kind of deal?
She says, I was trying to keep it from him until I had a secure place for us to all be. I would love for him to be with me if we're going to be hiding.
So you love your husband?
Yes, of course. This 30 years that we've been married, I've not regretted a single moment of it. No.
Okay, I'll go with that. I'm satisfied.
I'm not the type to, police anybody. It's more of a cards field. But I'd like to think that we would be able to help you under certain conditions. You give us information about the Dragon Cult, any information you have, and I would think if it doesn't take us too far off the path from where we're going, because we're headed to Waterdeep, we can either figure something out then, or maybe on the way there. How far away are we from Waterdeep? Like a day?
Yeah, roughly, depending on the speed of travel.
Okay, so yeah, probably when we get there. So do you have any information about the cult's movements or their activities?
And she says, I believe that I have a few details that might assist you in your trials for the future. That is a document that I'm going to send you guys.
Oh, okay.
She says, in the meantime, I would like to separate myself, and I don't even know that I'm comfortable with Waterdeep, given that it's so large. I'm afraid that somebody there might recognize who I am and point me out. There's a large network of underground guilds and that function there, and if the cult wants me bad enough, they'll simply because of the information that I have. They might have paid someone to be looking for me. And she says,
"That's the direction we're heading. So, what were your thoughts?"
I was hoping that you guys could help me find Haven before we get there.
I can disguise you, maybe. Change your appearance. That way, you won't look so recognizable.
I'm very confident we could get you in the city. Fairly confident we could get you in the city safely. DM, do I really think that how secure am I in the thought that if I got her and her husband to the Harpers, that they would be able to actually keep them safe.
You're pretty confident. You're pretty confident in that. You think that the network that they have there as well is a pretty well founded, a pretty firm organization within Waterdeep, that they have the resources, adequate enough to put somebody into hiding. Maybe not necessarily to keep them in Waterdeep, if they want to have a normal life. They could stay within Waterdeep and remain safe, but with sacrificing a lot of what normal life benefits. And so perhaps they would move her to some other city or another village, perhaps, maybe a smaller village that they, that they don't really, that isn't well traveled or something of that nature.
So I'll kind of, let her know that that information. Just so if Waterdeep is probably, I understand, I agree with your concern. Waterdeep is not the place to try and live out your life, but there's not much between here and Waterdeep, and if we can securely get you into the city, which I'm fairly certain of between our skill sets and abilities, we can get you to the Harpers. They have the resources, given your cooperation, to keep you safe, and then get you somewhere where you and your husband can live out your lives
Can I
in
do
relative
it?
safety.
And if we can't go to the Harpers right away, I know of a place that we can take her.
When he mentions Harper's, can I do an inside check to see if it kind of like lightens up, or pretty much I want to know if she knows if the Harpers have been infiltrated.
Oh yeah. Do an insight check just to see how he respond or how she responds when he mentions the Harpers. So, as you're looking at her, whatever, and you kind of overhear this portion, your curiosity having drawn you back from the cart towards the group again, and you're kind of listening to the conversation, standing in the background so that you can, keep your involvement at a reduced amount. You see the reaction on her face, and the reaction on her face is one of like sincerity as well as some array of hope. When the Harpers are mentioned specifically, she does seem to have like a face of curiosity. Like she's not 100% sure that maybe that's the best route, but you also get a sense that that's some information that she's ignorant to, that she doesn't necessarily know about the Harpers, or what she does know about the Harpers has never been verified for her, and that perhaps the information she has in regards to the Harpers is completely unrelated or unaffiliated with the cult at all.
Okay.
Atlas, what kind of plan did you have?
So there's actually two choices that I was thinking of. The first one being my parents' place. I don't, want to get them in any harm's way or anything like that. But if it's just, like a quick night or two thing, she could easily do that. Or my mentor also lives deep within Waterdeep, and so we could take her there and see if he'd be willing to keep her hidden for a little while.
Yeah, I had similar thoughts pop in my head about taking her to, my family's Waterdeep shop, but I'd be worried about getting people close to me involved, just like you mentioned with your family.
Yeah, and I wouldn't want to bring her to my parents' house or something, but we have a warehouse. So
yeah.
that would be an interesting side of caution.
Okay.
So we have multiple options if something is not working out. Does your mentor have the resources and means to relocate them, or are you just talking about for a stayover?
Basically, just to keep hidden. I don't think I don't know if my mentor's big on resourcefulness.
I think as little time as we can spend out in the open once we get into Waterdeep before we get them somewhere is best, so we can kind of evaluate when we get in the city gates.
DM, given my history with these guilds and what I know about the Black Network, is there any way that I would be able to know of a way in which someone would be able to stay hidden and remain hidden? Like,
yes. So what your thoughts are, being Roland, the information that you would have would definitely be in that regard. So let me shoot you some info. So essentially, what you would understand is that it happens actually quite often. Somebody who's meant to be arrested or executed or something is there are groups that if they have an interest in keeping that person alive might pay one of the thieves guilds or an assassin's guild or something to take that person underground. But typically what ends up happening is somebody else will pay to have that person killed. Now, that doesn't always happen. Sometimes them going underground for hiding doesn't always work in their favor. There is some betrayal and backstabbing that happens among some of the guilds, but not all of them. Some of them retain a large sense of honor. But it really depends on who you go to and how much coin you're willing to submit towards keeping that person protected.
okay.
And so that's something that you would understand on a personal level.
But I would know of the more trustworthy groups. Would I?
Yeah, you would definitely have an understanding of who typically would be a little more trustworthy in those dealings.
Sure. Okay. I'm just gonna give her that information just to have as an option, but I'm gonna give her a warning that nothing's for sure. It's only if you don't feel comfortable with the other two that have been presented. But yeah, I just want to give her that option, basically.
Question for you, DM. Another one.
Sure.
Do I know where the Harpers are located? Like where where I should go for them once I get into Waterdeep?
You would definitely have an idea of the area that they would probably be in.
Okay. Do I think that I could find that and contact and basically be in the door within an hour of going through the gates?
It may not quite be within an hour, but you definitely feel like you could do it pretty rapidly within a couple of hours, potentially.
A couple hours? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say, so this is my thoughts for getting you in and to wherever we're going. If you decide to go with the aiding the Harpers, then great. If you could decide to go another route, as long as you give us information, then that is your choice. But at that point, I would, if you're going to decide to go underground with a thieves guild, you'll be out of my hands. But as far as getting you there, if you'll, and I'm talking directly to Maureen, will you give me permission to cast a spell on you for a moment, just so you're used to it and know what it feels like?
She looks reluctantly and says, "If you think it would aid in keeping us hidden, then yes, go ahead."
It will keep you hidden. I don't think your husband would be as much of a worry. I think a disguise would be best for him. But this, and I touch her hand and I cast invisibility on her.
Okay.
So I pull out a small bit of a material out of my component pouch and just wave my hand and mutter a word under my breath, trying to keep it silent from everybody, except myself. And let me know if anybody wants to try and hear what I'm saying. But she basically starts to shimmer around the edges just a little bit, and then just fade into complete invisibility.
I'll try to take a listen to see if I hear anything, just for shits and giggles. Perception, right?
Yes, absolutely.
16.
Yeah, you definitely pick up on what it is, the words that Ricard are uttering in order to cast a spell. So you cast a spell on her, and she looks down at her hands, and you hear her give a small startle, and then drops a mug that she was holding. And you see the mug clatter to the ground, falling from an invisible state. She says, "Oh yes, I can see how this would definitely do the trick." She said, "Atlas, is it?"
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, that's me.
You mentioned your parents.
Yeah, I don't think I could take you to my parents' house, but maybe once I get in contact with them, I'll have their permission to maybe stow you away at our warehouse.
She says, I do like the idea of a smaller group being involved. She says, well, give me a few days to think on it. Well, I guess we won't have a few days. Let me come to you tomorrow. And
let us know before we pass through the gates. Just what I would like to know before that is what information you have. Would like to know if you know what groups are infiltrated in Waterdeep, especially the Harpers. And outside of that, anybody else have something specific they'd want to know?
Atlas.
I was just gonna say, I don't know if it influences your decision at all, but my parents are quite fine makers of bread. So where you would be is in a bread warehouse. So I'm not gonna get my feelings hurt if you take a loaf or two.
Her husband interjects. He says, "Well, I might quite like that."
See, for the whole family.
And she says, "Yes, I will. Let me retire to my tent for the evening, and I'll spend time with my parchment, my quill, and I'll note some of the things that I know. It might take me quite some time in order to get all of the details down. I imagine that it's quite a lot. Would you like the entire story, or just the specifics that you mentioned, or
as much as you can give us, with notes on the specific?"
She says, "Very well, okay. Perhaps I should get started then." And she says, I again apologize to everyone for the confusion and the deception. I'll retire for the evening. I hope this hasn't hasn't caused any insurmountable amounts of distress, especially to my husband, who is being so forgiving and patient. And she kind of looks down shamefully and looks at her husband or whatever, and she says, I will see each of you in the morning.
I'd like to chime up one last time and
Sure.
kind of clasp both Maureen and her husband on the shoulder, just kind of pat him on the shoulder and look at Maureen and say, "Look, don't look ashamed and put your head down. You have a man who loves you endlessly, and you should hold your head up and be proud to have such a strong man standing behind you and helping you along your way.
And
Please be ready early in the morning. The
Can I
earlier we get,
insight?
the more likely we are to make it to Waterdeep before the end of the day."
Can I insight check when he said strong, talking about the husband?
Sure.
See
Yeah,
if he was
sure.
bullshitting.
I'm rolling a persuasion on that.
Sure. Okay, go for it.
For them,
Okay.
I'm not bullshitting.
Okay, all right.
Honestly,
he's
what I
being
think.
completely honest.
Okay.
So she kind of looks up and she looks at her husband, and you guys see a smirk kind of cross her face, and she reaches out and takes her husband by the hand, and she says, maybe I won't start writing until the morning.
Does her husband go with her to the
Yes.
tent or whatever? Well, before he turns around, I'm gonna look at him, keeping in mind what he said to me earlier about the bread, and I'm just gonna be like,
Okay.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna show him the little wiggle my fingers, like, okay, don't forget the. And I just want to let them know before they go into the tent, like, okay, if you guys need me to change your appearance at all, again, either tomorrow morning or whenever, let me know, and I can try to figure something out just in case. Because I do think they would need some kind of disguises after they get to Atlas's parent-tour house, like, just in case they're still in the city for more than a couple of days.
Okay.
And DM, I kind of want to, as they're doing all this, I want to follow them up to their entrance to their tent.
Sure.
And I want to cast alarm.
Okay.
Right near their bed, excluding them, and alarm at the entrance to their tent, excluding them.
Okay.
So that if somebody comes in to attack them during the night, it alerts.
Okay, sure.
Because at this point, she is a valuable resource of information that we need to know.
Sure, yeah. Cool.
Did I hear the majority of the conversation?
Yes, you did.
Okay. I kind of call them over. Call the group over. Alice, Roland, and Ricard.
Okay.
Hey, Skadrick.
Hey, I hope you guys, I really do hope you guys are right about this one. Because if you are wrong, she is an agent that now knows you have a bread company, family.
We should just use the wand of secrets on her in the morning.
Okay. You have ties to the thief underground, and you have ties to the Harpers.
You make a good point. I mean, we should.
I mean, okay, out of character. I insight checked her, so I didn't just.
I know. Skadrick doesn't know. So he's just being paranoid.
All right, back in character. I'm like, hey man, I think I got a pretty good vibe from this chick. You know, she seems more trustworthy than Trollum, just a little bit. And I trust Trollum, so just gonna say I don't think she's doing anything shady right now. But I can use the wand of secrets on her now, or tomorrow morning. Whichever you guys want to do. If you don't trust her, Just to assure you, Skadrick, if you're still worried.
I'm just
I mean,
letting you know.
maybe
You
for my
guys are
family's
friends.
sake, that might be a good idea.
I mean,
You guys are my friends. I just hope you guys are right.
There's a reason that I didn't mention taking her to my family, Skadrick. Because the Harpers are more than capable of dealing with that. If they aren't, then we wouldn't still be around. As far as her knowing I'm associated with them, I tap my chest right here where there's a small Harper symbol. I say it would be obvious. And I kind of pull my cloak to the side so you can see it and then just pull it back down.
I mean, some people are pretty good at lying. You guys did say something about some guy named, like, what, Alduin or something like
just
that?
stop talking. Alex,
You just
don't
see-
mention
so-
What was
whole
his
that
bunch
name?
son of a bitch.
I totally
You
forgot.
see a whole bunch of
This
frost
piece of
smoke
shit. His
come
name
out
was
of-
piece of shit. Okay.
An odd name.
Skadrick.
I remember it
Yeah, I
sounded
know.
like something cool, or I
Yeah,
don't
no,
know.
it's cool.
Yes, it was
No, it
called,
wasn't cool.
Burnt to a crisp is what it was called.
Yeah. Beheaded, butchered.
There's backstory, guys, for everyone.
Anyway, Skadrick. Yeah, I mean, just because she knows I know people in thieves guilds. I didn't tell her which one I was in. I think I've only recently told you guys which one I was in. Also, I mean, I don't have to direct her to one that I actually have like close ties to. Just one that I'm aware of. I can get someone else to be a intermediary for that. So I think
Okay.
we're.
Wait, you
we're good.
told us which one you're in?
I don't think I did.
No, you didn't.
I don't know if I got
Now, but maybe you should now that you brought it up.
Yeah, which one was
Why would
it?
I do that? You guys are hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, the Dragon Cult lady in the tent could be listening right now. Like,
That's true.
Just
Jordan
know
knows
you probably will not get through the doors
As
What
much
are we talking about?
betrayal as we've been
into
through.
the Harpers without
me?
revealing who you're with. Yeah,
Why would you even tell them I'm with someone?
because
Are we not friends? Are we not
That-
trusting each other now?
no, I don't trust you. But you're my
Wow.
friend, and I care about you.
I literally take
Doesn't mean I trust
a visual, like I step back, like
over here, like,
I cannot believe after all we've been
Do
through,
I need to
Ricard.
Is
that
that a
you-
deception rolling? Out of character? Do I need to roll on this just to
Can
clarity?
I roll performance just to see if I'm selling this?
So can it be
you roll a
performance,
deception
deception, or
Yeah,
persuasion?
you have to roll a deception check
Okay.
to see if you're. And then, Ricard, if you
Insight?
want to roll
Oh,
an
I'm
insight,
sorry.
yeah,
Let me
just
get
to
the
see.
map.
It's not gonna mean anything.
Unless he not.
You could
I
also
rolled a net.
roll
I rolled a
a
net
Oh, the
20.
opposite.
Okay.
Oh.
That's going to be a point of luck.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh, man.
no.
Yeah,
and
just-
Oh, this is hilarious. A net
that's the
20 on
second
that.
point of luck
Oh my god.
and third
This-
point of luck.
Now,
Jesus,
don't-
why? What are we gonna
Oh
fight?
my god!
Wow. Wait.
That's all 3 points of luck, my friend.
No
They are
way.
gone for the day.
no way.
Wow. What are the odds?
This is what happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object, right?
I don't know what I don't know what
No,
happens.
no pressure
What
on
happens?
the call, DM.
All right, so really it's going to depend on whose modifier is higher. So let me look through.
They
Our
are
modifiers are
They're
exactly
even.
the same.
They're
3 and
even.
3s.
Oh, man.
I have to meet or exceed. That's all. I have to meet or exceed. Right?
I don't know.
That's a good call.
This is.
You can do a coin toss.
Oh, see, no, see.
I don't know.
Okay, so
It's
where
just like
Ricard-
any other check. If you hit it or exceed it, I win. It's
Well, it
whatever.
could be said vice versa then, because I mean, if you're looking
No.
for,
Because then if they hit your armor class, you wouldn't make the
if they're not,
attack, and if you didn't hit the check, you wouldn't succeed.
Okay,
That's
so
not how it works.
okay.
so Roland, where you
I actually have a question real quick that might change something.
sure.
Okay.
I have an ability called Flash of Genius where I can add my intelligence modifier when somebody else is making an ability check.
Ooh, who are you?
Can I do
Okay.
that?
Who are
Why
you
would you do
thinking?
this?
I just see the banter and I'm just like, let me just end
Okay.
this.
I
Who are you
mean,
using it on?
yeah, if you think your character is like this is a set of circumstances that your character feels like he would need to implement that particular ability, then yeah, you could do it for sure.
Van, heads or tails?
Really?
It comes to a coin flip.
Oh
Now
no!
decided to intercede in this. Okay. Heads. Under duress.
I'm increasing Roland's roll by
Yeah.
4.
Oh. I want to do an Arcana check, DM, to see if I noticed this, or Perception to see
How
if I
would you-
noticed him doing
Do a
this.
perception check to see if you
Okay.
see Atlas.
You're going to hide you're doing this, Atlas?
Oh my god.
I assume.
Atlas, is this
I
something
don't know what it entails, like whether or not I have to like throw out a fucking antenna or something.
Click,
Like,
Spell? Yes.
no, it's not a spell. It's just a class ability.
Oh, it's a class ability. Interesting.
Yeah, it's just an artificer thing.
So essentially, Atlas just walks over and then begins to analyze the situation, and says, "Well, given the body language, as you can see, he's specifically making this particular statement, and if he were lying, it would be." And he kind of.
This is literally just me just trolling him, being like, I can't believe
this
you would
is
doubt
like
me.
the most least.
Put into this.
This is the least
Would
most
it be
important
an
thing.
insight
that
in
you
DM? What do I roll?
Yeah, you can roll an insight check to see.
Okay. There, it's a 1.
Oh man. I've never
But I
seen.
hope my character never realizes any of this happened.
That was all up to chance. I chose tails in my head, and I said heads or
Yeah.
tails.
I'm like, Ricard, I don't see how you could distrust me at this point. I've just been 100% genuine with you the entire time. I don't see how after
That is
all
a
of this.
blatant lie. Hold up, out of character. That is a blatant lie. I know he's lied to me, like for fact.
I'm just guilt tripping. Are you feeling guilt tripped at least a little bit? A little bit.
That's up to the DM apparently.
So the way that Ricard feels right now is a set of circumstances where, from a perspective of friendship, he understands that Roland has his back. But being a part of a thieves guild does have some inherent.
I'm being profiled.
Creates some inherent characteristics, thievery being one of them, given that it is in fact a thieves guild.
I openly admitted that I was a part of a thieves guild. Clearly, I'm a truth teller. I'm not a liar.
Yes, but where truth telling might be a characteristic that you're presenting right now, that is not the only form of deception or dishonesty that thieves can take part in.
Sure.
And so that's the way Ricard feels about it. Also, I am going to do some digging on these rules a little bit later, because I think this is the second time this has happened in our campaign, and, where both parties had a critical.
Let me
and
show
tied
you what
each other.
was rolled.
Yeah, pretty insane circumstances here.
I'm just gonna look at Ricard's face. What's Ricard's face right now? Just tell me, Van. Is he looking? Is it the grimace?
I'm looking at Atlas like, why in the heck is he interceding in all this? And I kind of am like, Atlas, mind your own business. I get how he feels.
I showed you fairy fire.
No, just
Banter.
Okay.
cast fairy fire somewhere.
I see how disgruntled Ricard has become, and I just say, I'm just fucking with you, man. I know you don't trust me. You shouldn't. Okay. I mean, I'm not Alduin. but at the same
Yeah,
I
time,
know you're not Alduin.
Yeah.
You know,
But-
there would be other things that would have happened if you were Alduin.
Piece of shit.
One of us wouldn't be here anymore.
this is true. This is a true statement.
You know, I mean,
you
but you're
guys
not.
hear.
Anyway,
I would have
You guys hear a
succeeded in killing all of you.
familiar You guys hear a familiar voice come from a bedroll that is very, very close by. And that voice says to you guys,
Please no.
please, there is some of us who are trying to sleep now. If you do not mind, it would be nice for you to keep your voices down.
This
who
What was
is
your name?
it?
It's
That's Gemma?
Gemma?
Gemma, I think. Gemma.
Jim.
I know. Yeah, I'm pronouncing it wrong. I know.
Yeah. I guess let's figure out the ways in this disaster of a night. You know,
It's actually much better than I expected.
Yeah.
Like I
Um,
thought we were gonna get-
whoa. Did you just say
shall set
my
you
plan
free.
worked out, Roland?
Oh
No,
What you just
that's
said?
not what I'm saying. Because this was not your plan at
Here we
all.
go. Another
Yes, it
15-minute
was.
segue.
Can I do a history check just to recall?
I'm going to walk away
that's-
with that feeling no matter what.
So
I'm
somebody
I'm just gonna.
out of a tent, like they were inside their tent and they just said something to all of us.
In their
no,
bedroll.
they're open, like a bedroll that's open.
Oh,
out
an
of-
open bedroll. I'm gonna say to them, keep it in your hat, you old dribble mouth milk liquor.
Whoa! Look at it's like Atlas. What the hell, man? Like,
Hey, we were
Where
having a
is
good conversation and somebody
okay.
You know what, I'm
Calm down,
just-
Rick. Calm down.
This milk liquor right here.
Calm down, buddy. Calm down. Oh Jesus, he's rolling.
Is that not the same thing that you
Oh,
just did
let
with
me-
the little analyzation stepping into
Hey,
my conversation?
okay,
Here,
Cart.
Atlas.
All
You
right.
guys hear,
I got first
right.
shift. I'll take first shift.
It's the joke. We're just joking around, guys. You know, we're just having fun. Nobody needs to.
I'm
You
gonna
guys
take
are,
I'm gonna take first watch with Skodrick.
Okay.
Y'all two can have the next two.
Can I use a persuasion to calm everybody down? Not that serious,
I'm
everybody.
gonna plug my ears.
Necessary at this point.
Okay.
Just go stand next to Skodrick.
Never seen Atlas go off on somebody like that. Just like, whoa.
I've happened a few times. You just may not have been paying attention.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
I know.
right.
I've heard it.
Atlas, make a perception check.
Oh Jesus.
Fucking milk
I'm
liquors.
also adding.
I'm gonna cut your metal head off, bro.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna add the or the modifier for that ability that I have.
Okay.
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, that's fine. So you hear a thud of what sounds like a rock hit the ground somewhere nearby where you're standing.
DM, do I see the rock?
Oh my
Do I hear it or
God.
something?
Make a perception check.
Okay.
But with disadvantage
sorry.
because you're currently engaged in.
Okay. Well, I don't see shit. I
I'm
guess.
not even making a roll because I got my fingers in my ears. Walking over to Skodrick.
Whoever threw that, you jackknifed the wrong turnip truck, you diesel pumping pony soldier.
Okay. What is he
Did
writing
I hear
these down
him
ahead
say
of time?
This
I
would
am a
make
robot after all.
this-
I mean, it would
this
make
would-
sense to me.
this would make Leoden proud. I'm just saying.
Wow. DM
Conrad
completely.
doesn't know that, actually.
Yeah.
You didn't know Leoden in the past life.
Completely ignoring all
Oh,
the
this
insults
is
flying around.
this is above game.
I just want to
Sorry.
make a mental note, just for future reference. I'm going to start bookmarking things in my alchemist book, so I
Okay.
can keep track of where things are.
Yeah, okay, sure.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. You can do that. All right, so as you guys finally establish the watch and begin to get it started, and of course the same group of travelers with you guys approaches you to take watch with you guys. So as the first watch onsets, it comes and goes pretty silently. You guys hear a couple of snores in the night, just the typical sounds you would hear in an encampment of many sleeping people. Maybe an owl nearby somewhere. The cool breeze blowing through the grass at night as the moonlight shines down. There are a few clouds in the sky, but not many. Okay. So the first watch comes and goes, and the second watch begins. And yeah, for real. So
I did stream my end on the stream. I did mute my end on the stream. So.
Oh, got you. Okay, sorry.
No,
Nobody knows why I said for real. Great. I heard somebody in his mic in the background. Just so you guys know.
No, I heard.
I was addressing the stream.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh, sorry. I'm so not. This is our first stream. I'm so not used to referring to outside of us.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
He's talking to the people in his head. Shh.
Who's did we decide who's taking second watch?
I think that would be between you, Roland, Atlas, and Kidron. If Kidron's taking one.
I'll take one with.
Offer.
I'll take one with Kidron, and I'll read my book.
Okay. Yeah, make an intelligence check, and then make a perception check with disadvantage.
I'm sorry. Right before I go back to sleep, I'm gonna send a sending spell to you know what?
Can't decide.
To Papa. See if he got my my money, the money I sent him, and if he was gonna change, if he was gonna consider moving to Dragon Spear.
Okay. Yeah. So you cast Sending, and you hear his voice come back through, and he does respond that he's gotten the money, and he has been having quite a few discussions with the family, and they believe that they are going to. It hasn't become a solid or confirmed decision yet, but it is definitely leaning in that direction.
Okay.
Can I roll a perception to see if I see Skadric casting Sending? I assume did you ritual cast it? Or?
No, it's not a ritual.
Okay.
It is visual. It is visual
verbal
something that I can notice because I think I've done it before. Okay.
Yeah, it is something that you can notice.
There it goes. Did I notice with the team?
Okay,
well,
so,
I wasn't really hiding it, so if he just looked over.
Yeah, you see him. Oh.
Okay.
Okay. That was a thing.
What's that?
Ladies and gentlemen, apparently one of our guys was having some technical difficulties.
Oh. Do you want me to hold on interaction DM or keep rolling?
Let's take a minute. We'll just pause for a minute. Hello to everybody who is in the chat while one of our characters is getting the technical difficulties set out. Thank you guys for joining. So we have another T viewer with a couple of extra letters stuck in there. Cosmo Crimson, Kage0013, Commander Root, Commander Kakalot, and Avery as himself. Yeah, some of those people are just checking out how the stream looks, so it's a little bit deceiving. But welcome everybody who's joined in. I hope you guys are enjoying the stream so far. This is our first one, so please forgive us if things don't quite go right or seem a bit disorganized. That is largely what we are as a group, disorganized. It's awesome.
Yes. All criticism is welcome.
If you follow our videos at all, stream or YouTube likewise, they're all disorganized.
If you guys would like to be a part of this, just send into the chat who your favorite character is.
Wow.
And
that's not going to cause problems at all.
And we will make sure that makes it into the campaign somehow.
Cool.
So Yeah, and again, thank you guys for joining. Oh, right. Atlas is back. Ricard, please go ahead with the interaction you had intended on commencing there for a minute.
Skodrick, I saw you were casting Sending, and I didn't want to interrupt, but can you do that again before we call it a night after our watch here?
Yeah. Who do you want to try to get in contact with?
The High Lady. See if we can find out if she made it safe to Waterdeep, and if she's still there with the Harpers, she can let them know that that we're coming in. Should be coming in by end of day tomorrow, and maybe bringing somebody that would have information very valuable against the Cult of the Dragon.
Okay. And I begin my my whole
Sure.
I guess ritualistic thing where I do to first Sending with my
Sure. Yeah.
10 what is it? Piece of fine copper wire, just twisting it. Anyway. Yeah, so I go ahead and ask her, and I tell her what pretty much a synopsis of what Ricard has asked me to ask her.
Sure. So you see Skodrick sitting there, and he takes out his piece of copper wire or whatever, and then it begins to illuminate and flash for a moment. And the response that you get back is that the High Lady has made it back to Waterdeep already, and that they have begun to amass a group for the purposes of protection and combat, and to gather information. And she does have some information, and she asks if possible for you guys to contact her when you get to Waterdeep.
Okay. And I relay that to Ricard. And on top of that, I want to tell Ricard, I don't know what kind of greeting to expect, especially for your newfound friend, Marine, especially with the High Lady. I don't know what her intentions will be for someone who with that past. So, I mean, I honestly, it's her life. She does what she wants, but I hope you're right.
DM, can I check my knowledge base to see if the thought that a informant, somebody turning code on an enemy faction is something that has happened, common at all in my knowledge, and their overall outcome of safety or not.
Yeah, sure.
The Harpers. Would I roll a history check on that, or?
Yeah, you can roll history.
Okay.
It'd be something that would be involved in that.
Man, you're.
So, as you're thinking about it or whatever, you've done quite a bit of studies, given that this has been one of the driving forces to your person, and the reason that you've set out to do the things that you've done. Is to join the Harpers, and so with that, you've done a significant amount of research, as well as having some history of knowing a few people that have been involved with the Harpers in the past. And given that some of the information that you've come across are stories of people that have largely been involved, both from the circumstances of being a part of the Harpers and infiltrating, and then gathering information and coming back. And from what you know, all of those people have been safe so far. And there have in fact been a couple of instances, not specifically related to the dragon cult that you recall, but instances of others who were a part of the Harpers, or even one of the things that you consider is the Gauntlet, the Order of the Gauntlet, and the Harpers protecting a couple of the people that are from the Order of the Gauntlet, given that the Harpers have a portion of their operation that largely is carried out similarly to the way a thieves guild would work, in secrecy and, staying underground and having those types of dealings. And so that group would largely have a lot of information about how to handle those circumstances, so as to retain their safety and security in and amongst those circumstances. And so that's something that you absolutely would understand for sure.
So I just, Scout, I gotta look you dead in the eye and say, if she is true about her intentions, then the Harpers is the only place that I would take her.
Okay.
Cool. So, go ahead.
I kind of let my eyes wander, and I go, I'm kind of worried about taking her and her husband to Atlas's family, or really anywhere that any of us would want to value or keep safe before she's vetted by somebody I truly trust.
I agree.
If I at all seem hesitant about spending any time at Atlas's family's warehouse or with his mentor, that's just because I don't know them, and I don't want any harm to befall them. But good night, and thank you for sending that.
You're welcome.
Cool. So as the first watch comes to a close, the second watch comes open. So Roland, if you want to go ahead and make that perception check for me with disadvantage. And who's taking part of the second watch also? You're taking it with Kidron. Right, so let me jump in and look at Kidron. So for those of you who are watching, one of our players is currently missing. He had some prior engagements he had to take care of this evening, or be a part of this evening, and so could not make it to the game. So we apologize for that, but he will be joining us next time, I do believe, though I don't know if he's going to be here consistently. He is in the military, so we're proud of him for that. But we appreciate his being a part of it anyways. So he is going to make a perception check, where I am on his behalf. Okay, as you guys are watching, the night is going on, and it's going pretty silently as it had before. So Roland, you roll your intelligence check for reading in your alchemy books. You're trying to learn and study so that you can learn more about potions and poisons and how to make them. Given that you have your alchemist's tools, your alchemist kit, and so as you're digging through your book or whatever, you actually come back across the portion of the book that talks about the potion of giant strength, and sorry, I just got a little bit distracted there for a moment. So as you're looking, you see the variations of the variations in potions and which type of giant snails have how significant the effect is of the different giants' potions. And I'm going to send you that information in a message. So I'll send that here in just a little while. And so that's one of the things that you come across, given that you were looking for, or that was something in the forefront of your mind as you're digging through your book. And you see that it takes a portion of nail clipping or hair from one of the giants of those various potions, and that it is possible to purchase the base of the potion without the ingredient from the giant included for a little bit of a cheaper price than what you would purchase the normal potion, the completed potion from. And that if you could acquire those ingredients from the giant specifically, that you would be able to make that potion into any one of those. And so that's kind of what you learn from your alchemist book during your reading. So it's not very hard, even with an 11, and then Kidron with a 19. As you're reading, you guys hear some howling, and you kind of you recall that you guys aren't that far from the nearest forest, from Ardeep Forest. And so you hear some howling off in the distance, with the one caveat being that there is a river between you guys and the forest. And so you feel that even with the howling, that you guys are going to be currently safe. As you guys are looking around, you and Kidron both, you hear movement in the cart, and you look over and note that Skadric is still up and casting a spell. But he doesn't seem to be doing anything malicious. As far as the rest of the outside, again, you see the various tenants or denizens of the current traveling convoy of merchants that's traveling with you, about the 15 or 20 people that are traveling with you guys. They're doing the same things that have been, one particular gentleman who you guys know is a huntsman at this point, has kind of drunkenly staggered out of his tent and made his way towards the edge of the encampment, and you see him over on the edge relieving himself into the wind. You look through the rest of the encampment and you hear the various snores and snorts of people sleeping. The rest of the second watch goes smoothly.
Can I ask that huntsman a question?
Yeah, certainly.
Well, I want to know if he's familiar with the forest, Arctic forest. And I mean, I'm assuming if I heard howls, I'm going to assume they're wolves. So
Okay.
I'm just kind of curious as to what kind of wolves, if there's like dire wolves or just normal wolves, like anything we should know about as far as that.
Okay. So as you're approaching him, you can tell he's buttoning himself back up, and he turns back towards the encampment, which is where you're approaching him from, and he goes to take a step forward and kind of staggers backwards for a moment. As you're regarding his countenance, you tell that this man is absolutely plastered. He's been drinking for a while, and so you go up and you ask him, are these wolves that I'm hearing? Mention that to him or whatever. And he kind of stops and he's like, oh, yeah, probably that's the case. And he kind of stops for a moment and he breathes deeply in through his nostrils. You see his nostrils flare. And he's like, there's definitely a pack of wolves about. He says, our deep forest is not that far away, but we should be fine. And like, I can ready my bow if you need me to.
No. You should be fine, friend. Just make sure you zip up all the way and go back to your little. Does he have a tent or a sleeping bag or bedroll or?
So you saw him come out of a tent, so
I'm just gonna usher him back that way so he doesn't, stumble.
Okay.
Good talk.
Cool. Okay, so you kind of work his way back to the tent. As far as the rest of the evening goes, the clouds become a little more dense in the sky, hiding some of the moonlight, making the evening or making the night a little bit darker than it was. As the night gets a little bit darker, the remaining embers of fires that were once burning throughout the encampment have calmed down, but there is still some orange flickering light that you note as the breeze blows across the tops of embers here and there. And you make your way back towards the cart. The rest of the night going smoothly. And then for third watch, I don't know if you guys discussed who was a part of third watch.
I can do it.
Okay. Okay, so Atlas, you're joined by a few of the encampment for third watch, and let's see.
I'm just gonna ask them, like, did any of you happen to throw a rock earlier?
And they all kind of look amongst each other as you guys are collaborating for the next watch, and they're like, no. Go ahead and make a perception check for me, Alice. Okay. As you guys are going through the night, you do hear a few howls off in the distance. Nothing that you don't, nothing that you feel particularly concerned about. The late evening is rapidly approaching dawn, and as you look off into the distance, the horizon is beginning to take on a lighter purplish hue. As you can tell, you're only hours from the sunrise. As you're standing, you look out and around to the other members that had joined you and collaborated with you for this particular watch. Two of them walking the perimeter together, the other one kind of sitting in a chair near the perimeter of the encampment in the southwestern portion, seems to have been whittling at one point when he slumped off to sleep. Just then, you note some shadows dart through the southern portion of the camp. When suddenly there is a loud shriek pierces the silent night. That shriek wakes everyone who is in an unconscious state. I need everybody to make a perception check at this point.
DM, that wasn't one of my alarms, right?
No, your alarm has not gone off at this point.
So I was already awake. Can I tell what direction it came from?
Absolutely, it definitely came from south of where you guys are in the camp, and it is actually not that far south from you. It's about 30 feet. About 30 feet south of the party.
Quick safety check. Everybody okay?
Where was Marine located?
She was also south, though you can't tell that was specifically from her tent. So
me and Skondrick had a full rest, a long rest.
Yes.
At this point.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Very important.
You guys note that as you sit up and look, it's not hard to tell at this point. A large pack of wolves have made their way into the camp.
Are these normal wolves?
Well, as you look southward, you see one of the wolves is burying his face, or its face, I should say, into one of the bedrolls, and that is where the shriek is coming from.
Is that? Can I make an assumption
Oh,
if that
God.
was where Gemma was?
Gemma.
That is not
And
a
could
wolf.
I assume we would have slept out of our armor, or are we still keeping track of that, DM?
Yeah, we'd still be I'd still like to keep track of that. Though I didn't ask. So given that if you think your character would typically sleep out of armor, then you would be out of your armor. If your character would not typically sleep out of your armor, I need you to make a Constitution check.
If we're outside, I would typically say
1 second.
Hilarious.
if we're, I would say if we're outdoors, Skadric probably wouldn't take it off.
I don't have any armor. So
if I heard wolves, I definitely wouldn't take it off.
When he's in like an inn or a hotel or whatever, he would take it
So,
off.
Skadric, go ahead and make a Constitution check for me as well.
Can't roll as bad as me. Come
Thanks,
on.
man. Yeah.
My back is really sore.
So, Skadric, you're fine. Roland, you are experiencing 1 point of exhaustion.
Of course. Only had 2 hours of sleep. Damn wolves. Okay. Did we confirm that was where Jimna was? As far as the wolf within the bedroll?
So the bedroll that the wolf is at, that you heard the screaming come from, is not in fact where you believe Jamna's bedroll to be.
Do we see the wolves? We have
Absolutely, yeah. You guys have full sight of the wolves. So at this point, everybody go ahead and make an initiative roll.
Here we go. Oh, actually, it's not that bad this time. Good job.
Sorry about that. Little man had a nightmare.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
It wasn't about wolves, was it?
He couldn't tell me what it was about. So
Okay.
let's say no. Did I have time in that moment to cast mage armor on myself, DM?
Let me see. What's your...
Before any combat starts?
With an initiative of 13. Give me 1 second. Let me roll, and I'll...
I need to roll?
Yeah, initiative. Go ahead and roll initiative.
Okay.
If your initiative is high enough, I'll allow it. But if your initiative is lower than the wolves' initiative, then not.
Yeah, no pressure there.
Well, yeah, really. I'm gonna use. I rolled a 10. Should I? I'm gonna use 1 point of luck. This could end bad.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
That
was one of the best points of luck I've ever used right there.
Yes, you absolutely do have opportunity to cast mage armor.
Okay, so I cast mage armor upon myself. That puts my armor class at 16 instead of 17, but at least close, without me having to take time to don armor.
Sure. Cool. All right.
And yeah.
14, and Skondrak is at a 13. All right. So, Ricard, you have the capability to cast Mage Armor on yourself and stand up without using movement.
Okie dokie. What do I see? There's one wolf buried in a
bedroll.
in a bedroll.
Yep,
Do I see any others?
Right here. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Okay.
So they're not. It's not hard to tell where the wolves are, given the commotion that is beginning to take place. People are beginning to wake up, and or have woken up from the shrill scream that has just happened. So yeah, you can tell where they're all.
Okay.
Where they're all.
And is this tent right here? Is that Maureen's?
Maureen's would be a little bit further south than that.
Oh, so it's further south than that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. From this point, I'm going to. Which one is the one that's buried in the roll? Can you point him out to me? Because that's the one I want to attack.
It's right here.
That one? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to. So I'm standing up. I'm going to jump down, and as I'm doing so, so I wouldn't have been completely naked, and like I wouldn't remove my clothing, underclothing,
Right.
and all, and like my belt and things like that. But
Sure.
Your
swords would be laying in the back of the cart next to you.
Okay, so could I grab those as I jump up? Okay, so I'll grab my swords as I jump up, and I want to close the distance between me and that wolf. Is it huge, or is it a normal size wolf?
It's a normal size.
All right, so I'm going to close into it and attack it.
Yeah, go for it.
Using my bonus using Green Flame Blade as well.
Okay.
Okay. My first attack is a 20 hit.
Yes, absolutely.
This is rolling.
13 damage plus double check. We talked about Green Flame Blade, and
so essentially,
just want to make sure that
would be your first attack.
Yeah, that is my first attack with my main hand, and that's where Green Flame Blade would apply to.
Right.
And it gives an extra. So it deals an additional 1d8. Did we work that out?
So.
Yeah, and it increases it. Okay, and that is at 5th level. So, yes, I am 6th. Okay, cool. So I get to do the additional die 8 from Green Flame Blade, but it does not get the. Oh wait, did that attack roll? I guess that attack roll. It's just one die. I'm just gonna roll a single die 8. DM.
That's
Sorry
fine.
about that.
No, you're good.
So that's 7 additional damage from Green Flame Blade on him.
Okay. Yeah, so you jab your sword into him, and his fur ignites with the green flame that then begins to engulf his body. A large yelp comes from the wolf, and you note that the others look up to see where the yelp came from.
Okay. Do I get my offhand attack?
Yes.
Okay, so he's still alive, I take it?
He has dropped to the ground.
Oh, shit, okay. Okie dokie. Then that's all I'm gonna do, because... screw it. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna do, because I can't... Yeah.
Okay.
Can I take Can I look in? Is the person in the bag alive? Can I tell that?
Make a perception check. Huh?
Okay, and then that's the end of my turn.
Okay. So as you look, there's a glistening of a small, a glistening of a large blotch of crimson in the middle of the bedroll. What would be that person's torso? As you look, there is a large evisceration across that, or laceration across that person's abdominals, exposing that person's innards. The wolf has essentially torn bits of flesh out of that person's stomach. As you're looking at them, it's not one of the people that you've interacted with specifically, but one of the people that you do know is in and amongst the traveling convoy. So they do appear to be breathing. You do see the chest rising and falling, and there is a slight wheezing that's happening with that, accompanied by some small whimpers.
Can I use my bonus then to call out that this person needs help?
Yeah, certainly.
Somebody, help them! They're still alive.
All right. So that is Ricard's turn. The wolves then all look up, and let's see if I can remember. Yeah, here we go. So they are all going to charge in. See, before I do that, oh. Oh. All right, so they all charge in. They hear the yelp. They see the one wolf burning, and then they all see the threat and begin to jump in territorially to defend their pack. Okay.
I would like to use Ring of Advanced Dodge on that first one that attacked me.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Which requires them to roll at disadvantage.
Okay. So they're going to re-roll with just one because of pack tactics. Ooh. Good re-roll. Well, good for you, not for them.
And I want to use a reaction as well if they're all attacking me.
Yep.
With the next one that was going to hit me, I'd like to use shield. Gives me a +5 to AC.
Oh, nice. Okay. So you're at 16 right now, so the +5 for the next hit would put you at 21.
Yes.
Okay, so the first wolf comes in and goes to snap at you, and you are able to distract and divert that situation to keep him from snapping you. The next wolf begins to bite towards you, and You react quickly and respond appropriately. Throwing up a shield, the wolf takes on a face of confusion as it begins to bite at you, but hits this invisible barrier in front of you. The next wolf, being distracted by the previous snaps, but also misses. And that last one, does actually manage to get his teeth sunk into your calf for just a moment. Make a strength saving throw for me.
Okay, that's dexterity. All right, strength saving throw. 15.
Okay. The wolf pulls strongly on your leg to try and pull your leg out from under you, but you kick your leg and manage to get him to release before he pulled you prone. And you take 7 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
All right, so that is their go. So next we have Skodrick.
Okay, I hear out the cries.
Sorry. I'm sorry, Skodrick.
Okay.
Next is going to be Roland. Apologies, everyone. Roland, if you're saying something, we can't hear you.
I'll shout out to Skodrick and Kedron to, if they could, try to heal this person here.
Okay.
And then let's see. This is a complex situation. Okay, I'll pull out both my short swords. And let's see. It's gonna take 2 swipes at this wolf here.
Wolf that's right next to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So 20.
It's a hit.
And I have advantage, right? Because of, I think I'm within 5 feet of Ricard, correct? Or did I have that wrong?
So we decided that in this particular campaign that flanking is going to be opposite. Within 5 feet, but opposite the enemy. From your ally, yeah.
Gotcha. All right. So I guess it's just one, and then the other one, right?
Yep.
Okay. So first
both hit.
Let me put on sneak attack so we can get that roll out of the way. First one, sneak attack damage, and second myself. So it's 19 damage, or nope, not 18.
Yeah, so you jump to your feet and expertly, drawing your swords, slashing through the air. You cut through skin and fur, leaving large lacerations under the side of this wolf, spilling its guts onto the ground as it falls limp. All right, sweet. Skodrick, you're up.
All right. Immediately after hearing the cries for aid, I go and use one use of healing word on the downed guy that Ricard and Roland called out for as a bonus action at level 1.
Okay.
healing him for 5. And I then run up to where this wolf fell. So yeah, right in front of Roland. Yeah. And I cast Spirit Guardians. Yeah.
Goodness.
I said enough of this. We need to help him.
All right. So you step over, and these illuminated spiritual beings appear all around you in the 15-foot radius. Saves all around. Or one save and fails all around.
The number of 20s that are being rolled tonight is just wild.
And ones.
Right. A lot of criticals in this game. Completely unintentional, by the way, for those of you who are watching.
Yeah, like our 1s and 20s. Pretty out there, huh?
Yeah, it's been pretty heavy tonight. We generally don't crit this much. Okay, yeah, go ahead and roll your 3d8.
I'm gonna be fair. It already rolled it. It's the 15.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the 50 damage. Okay. Very good. Okay. Well, actually, that's going to do it. As these illuminated spirits float around, each of them protecting you and the general area. Each of your enemies you see begin to writhe and fall limp one by one, eliminating the remainder of what was the wolf pack that infiltrated the encampment at night.
I immediately call over Kedron to the aid of the gentleman.
Yeah, he comes over and leans over the gentleman who is currently bleeding on the ground and begins to perform his tasks so as to make reparations for that particular gentleman. Cool. So you guys are out of initiative. Congratulations on the...
I'm glad I got to help out, guys. Those wolves were so tough.
Okay. One
Like
thing,
stab one blade into a dead wolf and just
I just want to.
Yeah, Dawncasters.
Hold on one second. I just got a quick question. Okay, so the one that saved still died. Just so I'm clear.
Yeah.
How strong is it?
They're not particularly...
Gotcha. Okay.
They're pretty...
Jesus. Like...
Yeah.
He had no chance.
I look over at Roland and go, I don't suppose you want one of these heads. They're not as impressive as the
dire wolf. Yeah.
Is it possible? This is going to sound crazy. I want to try something. Is it possible I can try to resuscitate one of these wolves with a cure wound? Just enough so that it's conscious, and then I tie it up.
And can I do an insight to see if I realize this glint in his eye? Maybe.
Sure. Yeah, you can roll Ricard can roll an insight check. So Roland, I would have you make a medicine check to see
Cool.
if there's a way that you could try and revive one of these guys.
Did my 19 get anything? Giving the wolf mouth to mouth.
Ricard, as you look over, you definitely see Roland has bent over one of these now carcasses, making an attempt at reviving said carcass, and not doing very well as he's poking and prodding and pushing and...
I would have just used cure wounds. I would have just... I wasn't going to do all that. Like,
Roland, the only way you're getting that wolf back is by making it a zombie wolf. We don't need that. I'm gonna go check on Miriam.
So as you look at Roland, the
I'm a-
elimination of his spell moving from his hand into the body of the wolf, given the fact that the wolf died by magical means as opposed to just physical damage, you don't really note that there's anything happening physically to heal or whatever. And the body of the wolf remains lifeless despite your attempts to heal it.
Mm.
Stupid wolf.
At this point, the sun is beginning to crest in the distance, just above the horizon. You guys see a bright orange shade in the sky. The day rapidly approaching. Atlas, if you don't mind marking off our calendar for the next day.
Thank you for reminding me. I'll do that now.
Certainly. So, with that being said, we will pause for just a moment. I see Lemon Juices and Rubber Slayer have joined the Twitch stream here. So thank you guys for joining, or gals, whichever. Thank you for joining. We hope you're enjoying it so far. It is 11:56 p.m., or at least here where we are. So, do any of you guys have to work early in the morning or get up early or anything?
I do unfortunately have to get up at 6 o'clock.
Gross.
Ditto.
Okay. So are you thinking we need to jump off soon?
Probably. As selfish as that is.
Ricard, what about you? I know you typically get up
Yeah.
early on Saturdays.
Yeah, I've got to get up early. I've got to get up about 6:30.
Roland, are you done with your 2 weeks already?
No, it ends next Thursday.
Okay.
But I do not care about work, so I'm not.
Yeah, I remember. Scott Dirk, what about you? Are you getting up early?
Actually, I'm off finally. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you guys want, we can wrap up the game for the evening. And I don't know, whoever wants to stick around, we could stick around for a little bit and chit chat. So, well, yeah, congratulations on dispatching the wolf. So just to wrap up the session real quick. You guys finish the third watch. People begin to wake up. The encampment starts to come to life as people are waking up, rolling their bedrolls up, packing up their tents, loading their carts with their whatever goods that they have remaining after the events, and beginning to start their way towards Waterdeep once again.
DM was what's her name? Maureen and George. Were they okay? No harm befallen to them?
Right. Yeah. There was no harm done to them. As you guys note, also Kidron, after performing a series of healing spells or whatever, the one gentleman that was quite eviscerated is now repaired very well, and is continually thanking the group for their continuous aid, and mentioning that this is exactly why they wanted to remain with the group in the travel or during travel to Waterdeep. So, as the day moves forward, you guys approach and cross the river, separating you from the north portion there, where our deep forest begins to meet, or at least come open in the land eastward of the tradeway there. And that is where we will end our session for the evening. Again, thank you everybody who jumped on to watch us play. This was our first stream, so we had a couple technical difficulties. It was a little rough at times, and we're a bit disorganized, but it's super fun. This stream has been brought to you by Battle Cry or Die. You can live life however you want to, but if you're going to live it, at least have some kind of battle cry, right? Or you can
battle cry or fucking die.
We're gonna have a theme song at some point.
Yeah.
We have
Just
to do
imagine
this.
that. Just imagine
Unfortunately,
it.
our production values are like McDonald's value menu level. Hey, we're getting there.
We've got favorite menus
We're the frozen food McDonald's.
It's like, yo, you were wanting Stofers, but we're like the little dollar section where you don't really remember our name anymore. We're in the green box.
Yeah.
I love the green box. I don't the frozen mac and cheese and stuff.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the name of the game.
And
Right there.
Cool. All right. So for anybody that's still watching, some of us are going to hang out for a little bit. There are going to be a couple of people that jump off. So if you guys want, let us know. We can give you a little bit of a recap. But we are working on some videos to catch everybody up who joins the stream. We're going to put some links to some YouTube videos that we post, catching everybody up, all from the perspective of each character when they joined the campaign. A lot of the characters that are playing now have been here for quite some time. There are a couple of additions that happened not that long ago. We've been playing for about 1.5 years, I think. And we've been playing through Horde of the Dragon Queen. Again, for those of you that don't know, is arguably one of the worst 5e modules. However, we've been doing our best to make it a good time, and I feel like it's been pretty good. In spite of the module's attempt at constant railroading. But I hear that the second half of the campaign, which is Rise of Tiamat, is quite a bit more interesting than Horde of the Dragon Queen, and we will be proceeding into that when we get done with this one, and hopefully we'll continue our streaming. Hopefully this is the first of many nights of streaming, and I think even if we're not prepared for it, we're going to be streaming anyways. Just because I don't see any reason why not. So let us know, for those of you that are in the stream watching, who your favorite character was. We'll make sure that ends up in the campaign somehow, one way or another. I, being the DM, we'll put that into the campaign. Yeah, we hope you guys have a good night also. Sorry your phone's about to die.
Everybody's gonna say George. George was my favorite character. George with a J was my favorite character.
I like George.
Also, we do accept critical criticism. Now, if you want to throw out a bunch of insults, we're not so keen on. We'll deal with it, but we're not so keen on accepting those, and it likely will not end up in the campaign.
It depends on how funny it is.
This is
really,
true.
really funny.
Yeah, this is true. Cool. So, good session tonight. Yeah, the stream has been brought to you by Battle Cry or Die. Thank you guys again for joining us.
Yeah, if you like what you saw, just hit that follow. It's probably uploaded in the future on YouTube as well. So hopefully see you there as well.
Cool.
Goodbye.
Peace, guys.
Take care.